Suicide Squad, top 10 characters from the Suicide Squad movie that was released earlier this year, and I'm gonna count them down from 10 to 1, but yeah, anyways. Now for Enchantress, really I didn't hate Enchantress as much as everyone else did. I don't get it, I don't get it. I didn't hate the movements that she was making, because that's just what I hear most people were complaining about, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, it just irked me just a little, but it wasn't enough to sort of like hate the whole character, basically, like everyone else was doing. For me, I just saw it as like, okay, the only gripe that I have is that with the magic, they didn't actually go to the technicalities of it, like how the magic worked. I would have loved to sort of like explain how her magic works instead of just it happening, but her character was sort of like had the most visually it's just so freaking like that smirky look to her. It was very good. I liked it, so good, but still not my favorite character. Now for Katana, she's the character that I was looking forward to seeing the most, and she's the one that I saw less of. I don't understand why that happened. That had such an amazing actress. I love the actress, and I just love Katana and the whole mythos behind her with the blade that takes souls and stuff, and I wish they could have delved into that, but they didn't, and I was kind of disappointed with that. They didn't actually develop her character at all, except for having one scene where she was talking to her husband whose soul is trapped in the sword. But other than that, they didn't really do anything, and that annoyed me because she was the one that I was looking to seeing the most. I just love Katana, and I don't understand why I didn't even I'm disappointed in it. But Katana, number 9, yeah. Next is Killer Croc, and I didn't understand what some of the decisions that they made for Killer Croc. They decided to make him sound like this person from the street, and I didn't understand that at all. Like his voice, the way he talked, everything was just making no sense, even though he had some of the best parts that I liked. That includes the line where he says, "I'm beautiful," and that just there was so freaking like, I think the whole theater just started laughing when that came on. And same with me, I was like, yeah, I was with Harley, I was like, yeah, Croc, you're freaking beautiful, basically. And I liked Killer Croc. The actor was like, he acted as well as he could with all that makeup and prosthetics on him or whatever the hell it is, but he did really good. I like Killer Croc. He was funny. His design isn't my favorite. I like the sort of like big version of Killer Croc, who's sort of like turning into a huge lizard, but he's not actually a full-on lizard. But yeah, this character was pretty damn good. But other than that, he has to be on there on this list, but not any higher than that. Rick Flag was definitely what I expected. Nothing special, nothing, not more, not less, and he was that. But he was authoritative when he needed to be. He was a good actor, but I sort of like keep imagining what it would have been like if Tom Hardy actually accepted the role and went with the role, because he was the original person that they went for to play the role of Rick Flag. But he said there was some timing issues, and I don't believe that. I believe that he actually didn't want to be in it because it's a superhero movie, and because he would just get categorized as that character. Or there's Rick Flag. Whenever they saw him in another movie, he also didn't want to do it because he didn't want to be a secondary character. I believe that. But overall, Rick Flag was alright. He was the love interest for June Moon, and he did his job. He needs to be there. But I loved how in the end Deadshot was the one who became the captain, the one who became the leader. Yeah, it was a good character, but not my favorite. Boomerang, Jai Courtney, Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, the Australian. I'm from Australia, and this guy, when he said some of the things that he said, it was just, the whole theater just laughed out loud, because they could relate to him so much. He's one of those characters where it's like, oh man, this guy, he hits home, because all the references he made, it's just, It was so good. I love Boomerang. He's really funny. They didn't really show him doing much in terms of action, like with his boomerangs, but other than that, he was actually pretty good. And I'm surprised that Jai Courtney was able to be that funny and that amazing in terms of acting. Maybe just the way they wrote him. Maybe his sweet spot is acting as an Australian. You know what I mean? Because he's an Australian after all. And if that's the case, then he should just take only Australian roles so he can be, you know, a good actor. Because people right now, they criticize him. They think he's not a good actor. But other than that, I think he nailed the role. I think he did pretty good. Boomerang, repping Joker. Jared Leto's Joker. I don't understand what people hate about him. He's on this list for me, even though he didn't have much time, because he's so unique, so different, so refreshing, so good. It's like many people hate him because he's so different, but for me, I appreciate different, which is why I loved Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? This guy was sort of like that. It was all like sort of like a deviation from the usual, because for me, we've already seen every Joker, and this was sort of like the modern day Joker. This was 2016 Joker. This was next generation Joker. This is today's Joker, basically in the age of the internet, the age of the tattoos and shit, stuff like that. This was basically the Joker that we needed. He's really good. His laughs are amazing. The way, like, people say that, but I think they're really good. And his relationship with Harley Quinn, it was actually pretty terrible, but it was alright. But it's not my favorite relationship between them two. I think that the animated one would be my favorite. Just here, it's sort of like it didn't make sense. It just was stuffed together, you know, because I feel like some scenes were cut out that could have made everything more perfect. But right now, the way it is, I don't know. I liked it. He's a good Joker. I hope to see more of him. Amanda Waller was definitely pretty intimidating. You know, every time she entered the scene, she did sort of like steal the scene, because the attention just straight up drew to her, because she was just that intimidated to all of them, because she had control over all of them. She had their lives in her hand, literally their lives in her hand. She could just tap a button and just kill them. Basically, she was bad. She was a mean ass lady.
That is just a mean lady.
She was a mean lady, you know what I mean? Because she killed her staff. They probably had like family, like kids, and oh my goodness, those were innocent people, and she just boom, straight up popped them like it was like they were just some random criminals or something. She had no mercy, to be honest, and I did get bothered about that a little. But that's Amanda Waller. That's she's a bad person. She's a mean lady, but she's sort of like these yeah, she did it right. She did her thing, and I like her character. Not too bad. Diablo. This has to be the character that I didn't expect to like as much as I liked, simply because the images they released of us didn't show much, and I didn't know this character before the Suicide Squad movie was announced. I'd never heard of this Diablo person. I never knew he was a part of Suicide Squad either. But once I saw him on screen, he was just the story they created for him was just so heartbreaking, so tragic, and I felt for him, because he regrets everything. He regrets what he was before, how he treated his wife, everything that he did, and you sort of like feel for him, because you see what happened, you see what he was doing, you see what he was like, and you see what he is now, and that just, it pulls your heartstrings. Honestly, it does. And on top of that, despite being that traumatized and everything that's going on, he actually gave up his life to save the squad. And honestly, Diablo, you're the MVP. You're the champ, and one of my favorite characters in Suicide Squad. Right? Like, I wish you didn't have to go away. I wish you didn't have to die. Rest in peace. Harley Quinn. No.
The one, the only, the infamous Harley Quinn.
Character whose whole story is supposed to revolve around the Joker, and in some ways it still was in this movie, but there was something more for her to fall back on, and that is the squad. Seeing her grow to like someone other than the Joker was very refreshing and so good to see, because that's all she's ever been, just that Joker psychic. Not to see her be a part of the group and see her be a prominent, dominant character in her own sort of like squad. It's just so good to see. And her interactions between her and the squad were on point and sometimes hilarious, heartwarming, and not to mention she looked powerful and sexy at the same time while she was doing all this stuff. She was just amazing. Margot Robbie did a good job. Her laugh, her craziness, so good. Slipknot, our number one character, Slipknot. Now Slipknot to me is definitely the best character, best character in this whole movie. He was the one with the most explosive mind to me. You know, he had the best personality. Everything about him just clicked. You know, it just clicked. Everything about him was just killer. You know, he did the best things. Like the climbing, the rope climbing, just. My God, I'm surprised that they just took him out that quickly, because it was just so damn good. You guys know I was kidding about that, right? You guys know I was joking. You really think I'd put Slipknot as number one? Okay. Now time for our number one character. And I think at this point you already know who it is, and that is Will Smith's Deadshot. And I don't know, man. When I went in here, I was expecting to just see Will Smith, but the way he did it, he owned the character. I believe he did, because we've never actually seen Will Smith act as a bad guy or just an anti-hero or anything like that. He's always been the good character, and to some degree at the end he does sort of like redeem himself at the bad things that he used to do, what he used to be, who he used to want to be. He does sort of like redeem himself, you know, and he becomes a good character. But that's not a bad thing, because you're with him throughout the whole journey, because you see where he came from, and then at the end you see him redeem himself and become a good person for his daughter. You know, he wants to be his relationship with his daughter. This guy is the one you attach to the most, because he's the one who holds the weight for this movie, the heft, everything, the emotional weight, and his interaction with Harley Quinn and the other characters were just spot on, and the way that he took charge and became the leader was just Deadshot. You know, Deadshot is the guy who's always going to be the guy in the room. You know, if there's other 100 guys in there, he's going to be the guy, and I think they put it off. Will Smith acted very well, and I just loved it. I just hope they bring him back for another movie. Will Smith doesn't usually do sequels, but I hope he does. I hope he comes back for this one. I really hope he does. Deadshot, definitely my favorite character out of the Suicide Squad movie that was released this year. Yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate for you guys sticking with me this long, because it really did take a long time to do this thing. This whole voiceover and the editing just took such a long time. We had to write everything, we had to edit everything, put everything together, and we live so far away from each other, and we had to talk through messages to be able to do this video. And I just appreciate everyone who actually takes the time out to watch this, likes it, and subscribes. So thank you guys. Thank you for the ones who are true fans. I appreciate you guys.